This is Scotty and Andrew, and you're listening to Fun with Horror.
Hello, beautiful horror family. This is Fun with Horror. Hey, buddy. This is the weekly horror movie review podcast in which who you just heard, Scotty, and
Me.
That's you. We take turns giving each other movies to watch, and then we discuss them the following week. The only two rules that we do have is that whoever picks the next movie, which this week was me, must pick one they've never seen, and then we both get to watch it. I would have said have to watch it, but I think it's more
Have
of
to
a
watch
get.
it.
We
Yeah,
do
maybe.
have to watch it,
But we have to watch it.
You're
It's
right.
a
we have-
rule.
You're right. It's a rule. We have to watch it, but we also get to watch it because we're excited. Anywho, the last pick, again, as mentioned, was me. I chose Creep. It was directed by Patrick Brice and starred Patrick Brice and Mark Duplass. Remember as well that to listen to the end of this podcast where you're going to hear Scotty's pick for next week's movie. But without further ado, hi, Scotty.
Hi, Fun with Horror.
Fun with Horror. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Ooh. Ooh.
Yes.
That was really nice.
Drinking my water.
Ooh, I have mine right here. Let me take a drink.
Drink water. Drink.
Hey, you serenaded me. I asked for
I did.
that.
But I didn't serenade the song you wanted me to.
That's true.
And I'm not going to.
Due to
we're gonna get copyrights.
That's fair. Aww.
I've got a question for you.
Ooh, okay, yes, please.
And this is non-horror related.
Ooh, okay.
When you buy a candle,
Yeah.
or when you buy hand soap,
Uh-huh.
or if you buy dish soap, do you ever say that it comes in a specific flavor? Or do you always say scent?
I would say, I don't know if I ever really say. I must say flavor.
Do you?
Yeah,
Well, there you go. There you
maybe.
go.
I don't
The
really.
girlfriend's yelling at me because I always say flavor.
I have a feeling, yeah,
And
like
it bugs
watermelon
the crap
flavor.
out of her.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say flavor.
No, I'm
too, I
talking
think.
lavender,
Right.
peony, pea on me. Had to go there.
That's the asparagus flavor.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
And we're back in horror. Anyway,
Oh
that's
my
all.
God.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's
Has nothing to do with horror movies or anything like that. It's just a random question.
I think that's a beautiful way to start out this episode 16 podcast.
16.
I do have a question though for you.
Uh-oh. What is it? Is it
That-
about flavors?
It is. Yes.
We're going to Flavor Town.
We're going to Flavor Town. No, it's about it is horror. This one is horror.
Oh, good.
But
good.
as you probably saw this week on Facebook, they are remaking
Maybe.
Pumpkinhead.
Yes.
One episode that we have
Yes.
podcasted. My question,
Yes.
though, to you, is there any movie
Yes.
you can think of, horror movie, that deserves a podcast, or that deserves a podcast, yikes, that deserves a remake.
They all deserve a
They all deserve a
podcast.
podcast. That's why we're doing this.
Yes.
No, that deserves a remake, or do no movies deserve a remake? That's my
What?
question of
Do
the
no
week.
movies deserve a remake?
I don't know. That's my question.
I mean, so I guess what you're asking me is like how I feel about the whole remake
that
topic.
yes, and then if you do like remakes, is there any movie that you think should get one? Horror
I mean, let's put it this way. I'm torn
Fair
about
enough.
remakes. I don't automatically dismiss a remake.
movie.
I would rather have original ideas,
Right.
but I think horror fans in general are kind of funny when it comes to remakes because they'll complain like crazy. The outpouring of complaints when they said that The Lost Boys was getting a remake.
Oh, really?
which I'm not that happy about either. But I mean, let's just wait and see what it's like.
Right. Right.
It's not going to ruin the old movie or anything.
Exactly. Yep.
The Fright Night remake didn't make the original Fright Night any less amazing in my eyes.
Right.
What about you? And let me think about a movie that I would want to see remade. But what about you? How do you feel about them?
I actually don't mind them. Kind of like how you said it. I always think of the remake and the original as two different things. It's the same. I have the same reasoning behind books and movies. I don't get mad at movies really when it doesn't follow the book, because the book is its own thing, and if it's a book I love, I'll look at it like that. And if we get a movie of
Okay.
it, cool. But
All right, I'm going to go off on a tangent here because you brought
please.
that up, though.
Yes, please.
Because normally I'm okay with it too, but
Uh-huh.
I can think of one specific book that the movie adaptation just pissed me off.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
One of the greatest horror books that I have ever read, horror novels, I should say, is The Ruins by Scott Smith.
You know, I
That
don't
is
know
an
that one.
incredible book.
Good to
And
know.
it's one of the only books that I've read that actually scared me at times. I couldn't stop reading. It was just full of tension. And then they announced that they were adapting it to a movie, and I was overjoyed, especially when I heard that the author was writing the screenplay.
Oh, cool.
Now, I don't know what happened, but that was one of the most disappointing experiences I've had watching a horror movie.
Wow.
I think by itself, that movie is not generally a bad movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually saw a comment thread about it very recently where somebody was talking about it, and it was exactly the same. People who had not read the book liked the movie.
Huh. Okay.
But if somebody mentioned that they had read the book, they said the movie lost all semblance of what made the book scary.
Huh. Got
Because
it.
the book is filled with just fear and paranoia, and it's a brilliant book. And I can't believe I have no idea what happened between book and screenplay, but the movie does not retain what made the book so scary. So
Well, that's a
I would
bummer.
recommend anybody out there read The Ruins by Scott Smith. I think his name is Scott Smith. Now I got to look that up.
And I agree with that, though. I always think that if you're going to see a movie based on a book, I actually would always recommend the book first, because you're going to get a lot more detail. And like I said, if you have that mentality where you can put them, separate them, it'll make it easier.
Yeah.
Obviously, but yeah, I mean, books just have so much more detail, and there's so much more with your imagination, and so I always recommend a book before
Yeah.
the movie for sure.
And I generally feel the same. Books don't tend to scare me so much, but I
Mhm.
do enjoy reading them before I see a movie. And yeah, it is Scott Smith. So,
Okay, cool.
as far as movie remakes go,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny. I was just another tangent here,
Please.
but the fine people that made In Search of Darkness 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
they finished their crowdfunding for part 3,
Right. That's awesome.
and they sent out questionnaires asking everybody who pledged what 10 movies from the 80s they want to see in part 3.
Huh.
And I filled it out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one movie that I forgot to mention, and it's a movie that I would love to see a remake of.
Ooh. Okay.
It's called Without Warning. It's a 1980 horror film starring Jack Palance or Jack Palance,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a movie I watched with my dad when I was younger. I'll never forget the day I watched it, and last year or the year before, I think 2019, I finally found it on Blu-ray in this crazy special edition with commentaries and stuff.
Nice.
So, fun, crazy kind of terrible at the same time 80s movie. It's really cheesy. But I would love to see somebody remake that one.
Interesting. I don't know that movie, so maybe that needs to be on my list at some point.
Yeah, well, at least look it up
Yeah.
after we record this.
Right. I will. Oh, that's good. Okay. Very cool. I think...
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, you did. Yep. And then I think the only one... Because this question just kind of came to me, I guess, not too long ago. But the only one I can really think of that I'd be okay with a remake is one of my top 10 favorite horror movies.
Ooh.
And as I mentioned, I once wrote part of it, a remake, but that's
nice.
Dolls.
Oh, okay.
I think Dolls, like I said, it's one of my favorite movies, but if they did it right, it could be a really, really fun remake.
And I still need to rewatch Dolls because I don't remember it at all.
I really hope I'm not hyping it up. Or you
But that's a
watching,
fair
like,
question.
Oh, no.
Or a fair answer. That's a fair answer,
Well, thanks, buddy.
is what I meant to say. That was a good question.
Thanks.
That was such a good question that we could go on for an entire podcast about remakes.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
But as it is, let's get to our movie of the week.
All right, we are leaving the flatlands and we are heading up towards the mountaintop. The ad said $1,000 for the day, filming services. Discretion is appreciated. A yellow door. And realizing that no one knows I'm here.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm assuming you're Aaron.
Yeah, hi, Aaron. Nice to meet you.
Joseph. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is gonna be a good day.
All right. So without further ado, Andrew,
Yes.
what did you think of Creep?
Wow, we're diving right
I'm
in,
just
man. I
throwing
love
it. I'm just,
Oh.
What'd you think of it? What'd you think of it?
Man. Well, okay.
Was that aggressive?
It was a little aggressive. I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm a little nervous.
Oh, I'm sorry. Andrew,
Finish that thought.
what did you think of Creep?
Oh, there we go. Let me tell you.
Oh. Get close to the mic.
Let me tell you all about Creep.
Tell me about Creep.
Ooh,
Are we creepy?
a little bit.
Do you want a crepe?
Only if there's strawberries. And a dollop of whipped cream. All right.
Tangent, Andrew.
Yeah.
Can you just call me every night and do ASMR?
Yes, obviously I
go to
will.
sleep?
I'll eat like a snack and I'll eat crepes and I'll
Just talk like that.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, you'll go right to sleep, man.
Yeah. And then right as I'm asleep, then do your tourist trap impression.
Why don't you like me?
Okay, so Andrew,
Yes.
yeah, you chose Creep,
I did. I chose Creep this week.
and it's from 2015.
Yes.
And you said part of that had to do with your brother Alex.
Yes. Yep.
So go for it. Tell me what you thought.
I thoroughly enjoyed Creep. I'm gonna say that.
Thoroughly?
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We'll talk in a second, I guess. We'll go into details. That's what our podcast is. But I want to know, what did you think of Creep?
I liked it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me about thoroughly enjoying it.
Well, one thing that I really liked is that it's so kind of it's a low budget. It's two guys. Two guys made this movie. It's a found footage film. So I mean, all you really need is two guys and a camcorder. Which I was like, as I was watching it, I was like, oh, it's like when Scotty and I started a podcast. Two guys and a podcast. So.
Oh yeah, I like it. That's a nice sentimental thought about the movie.
Right?
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so that's actually what I immediately thought
I didn't
of.
think of you one time.
Oh, wow. We know which one of us loves the other more.
Keep going.
Anyway,
Tell me about Creep.
I really liked it because it's so simple. It was just a simple movie, but it was done really well. That there were moments where I kind of wanted to look away from the screen because I hate one thing that I have a love-hate relationship with is jump scares.
Okay.
I hate them, but I kind of love them. And this movie had a number of jump scares, and you knew they were coming at every time. So it was one of those where I went, ugh, when's it coming? Like, I don't want to see this, but I kind of do.
Right. Did you feel that the jump scares were earned?
I would say half and half.
Okay.
I would say a few of them were, and then a few of them were forced, for sure.
Okay.
That's my humble opinion on that. But I think the thing that really got me, though, or why I really enjoyed it, as you know, one thing I look at in movies is acting. And I think Mark Duplass, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Mark Duplass. I've liked him. I've liked him as an actor before. There's a movie called Safety Not Guaranteed, and he's great in that.
I haven't seen that.
It's very
and I
fun.
need to because, the director has gone on to direct many other things.
I did not know that, but it's a great, if you have time, it's a great little flick. I really enjoyed it. So I've liked him, but I thought he was great in this. I thought he played the part extremely well. Because at the beginning, I knew, obviously, the movie's called Creep.
Yeah.
You know things are going to go down. But right at the beginning, I mean, I was on board. I thought, Joseph, the character he plays, I thought, I like Joseph. He's a little weird, a little different, but right away, and like I said, I knew stuff was coming, but right away I went, this is a great guy. What a cool guy,
By the way, real quick,
yeah,
Safety
please.
Guaranteed, directed by Colin Trevorrow,
Ooh, okay.
who directed Jurassic World.
Oh, right on. I did know
and Jurassic
that.
World 2, and he's also directing the next Jurassic World.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Okay.
For sure. It's a great little flick. But yeah, I really like the character, and obviously we see his kind of decline or his insanity begin to show up throughout the entire movie. And I just thought he played it so well that he really was a creep. He really filled the title. And I just there was no music in this, so it was all pretty quiet. Not really anything super gory till the end, and really there's no blood even in that.
There's no blood. Real quick, everybody, we're gonna delve into spoiler territory.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen Creep, it's on Netflix. Go watch it if you want. But we're about to spoil the movie, so you've been warned.
Thank you.
So go ahead, keep going.
And I just thought, I loved his kind of descent. I thought it was great. But I liked,
Was there a descent?
Maybe not.
I don't know if there was a descent. It was just,
I guess we progressively
more of a
saw
reveal.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. That maybe descent isn't the right
the
word.
progressive revelation to the audience of how much of a creep he really is.
Wow, that was really good.
Thank you.
That was really good phrasing. There were moments I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Peach Fuzz.
Yes.
The mask that he wears, the werewolf mask, as well as his song and dance, which was super weird.
Which was interesting. So before I had seen the werewolf mask, because Cavity Colors did a small clothing line based around Creep 1 and 2. And
awesome.
I had no idea what the movie was about. I still didn't before I watched it last week. But that was one of the things that piqued my curiosity about this movie, was because they had the werewolf mask, him dressed with the werewolf mask on, I should say. They had that on their clothing. And that made me go, what the hell is this movie? So I was that's another reason I was really happy when you picked it last week.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like the Mask 2 a lot.
Yeah, I just thought it was so weird. And again, watching this movie, and he tells all these stories about, him having cancer and that he's having this guy record him so that it can be a video for his unborn son, with his pregnant wife. I knew that was a lie right away. You go, okay, well that's not true. But
Well, I mean, the name of the movie,
right?
And this is the thing. When they first made this movie, and first started filming it, it was called Peach Fuzz.
Oh well, I watched you told me to watch that, the alternate endings, and it said Peach Fuzz at the end. So that's funny.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I watched the commentary, and they mentioned that, and they did a test screening, and they found that when the movie was called Creep, audiences they enjoyed the movie more, basically, because
Weird.
Creep
Okay.
gives you an idea of what the movie is about, and it gives you a certain amount of tension, knowing that this guy is a creep, and knowing what's most likely going to happen eventually.
I don't know if I get it. I understand that, but I actually think it would have been awesome to be called Peach Fuzz. Just because then I think at the beginning when we hear his backstory and not knowing, if I went in not knowing anything about this, I might have believed it more. The story he gives, which, I don't know. It'd be hard.
It's a tough one.
It's tough.
It's a tough one because I like the name Peach Fuzz as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Creep got me interested in the movie.
Right.
A movie called Peach Fuzz, I'm going to be like, what the hell is this? But
Yeah.
with Creep, I did, well, obviously, my first thought was the Radiohead song.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
But it's not about that at all. And they don't even use it in the movie.
They couldn't afford
Which-
it.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I mean, I was curious because of the name Creep. And they did say that test audiences overwhelmingly responded better when the movie was called Creep.
Funny. That is
So, yeah.
so funny. Huh. Weird. I like that though. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I love though that we see him kind of just go a little bit crazier on Aaron, our cameraman. And I really enjoyed kind of when Aaron finally goes, okay, this is enough, and he gets that phone call from Joseph's sister, who we thought was his quote unquote wife, but it's his sister. I liked that scene, and then I love that that's like halfway through the movie. I was like, what the
Yeah.
heck's gonna happen now? Because that was, I mean, he gets away, he like drugs Joseph and gets away, but I just kind of went, what? Now what? But I really liked that second half where it was essentially him being stalked, Aaron being stalked by Joseph. I love the box scene where he gets the box in the mail from Joseph, and I thought that was creepy. Which held the knife and the the baby wolf
Yeah, yeah.
stuffed animal with a locket in it. I love this scene where Aaron wakes up at night because he's freaking out and he thinks Joseph is there, and he just walks around the house, and we see the cameras on, and we see Joseph standing outside the window in the background. I thought that was great. Like I said, it's no budget, but the fact that they were able to make this movie, and like I said, I enjoyed it. I think that's great, and I think that's kind of inspiring as well, that they made what I believe is a really good movie with a digital camera, two guys, a good script, and that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
I just thought I had a lot of fun. Like, I just I enjoyed it. I think it was a good movie.
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks.
That's nice.
What about you, though?
Well, I mean, there is that side of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I completely appreciate that. They
Right.
were learning how to make their own movie. They filmed in Crestline, where much of the movie takes place,
Mm-hmm.
and that was actually Duplass's cabin.
Oh, really?
He owned that cabin, yeah, and they used that. But I I did have issues with the movie.
Please, yes, please.
And it was a little bit missed opportunities. So let me see, where do I start here? So yes, I also agree. I loved the acting, especially Duplass.
Yeah.
You know, he was so fun to watch.
Yes.
So much
agreed.
fun, and I was laughing. I was laughing at how creepy and crazy he was. He was magnetic on camera. And
Agreed.
I also thought Patrick Brice did a great job as the guy who's going to the cabin to film somebody for 8 hours.
Right. Right.
You know, should be easy money.
Yeah.
I thought they both did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
There were lots of scenes that I really liked. I loved the segue when Joseph is telling Aaron about his cancer and what he wants to do for the day, and
Yep.
how he thinks it's going to be great, and then he says, and then he just out of nowhere says, "All right, let's go get in the tub."
Yep.
And you know, it's like even as an audience member, you're going like, "Wait, what?" And then finally, Aaron's like, "Tub," and and then we have like that whole bathtub scene, which I loved. Tubbies.
Tubbies.
Is that what he called it?
Yep.
Tubbies.
Yeah. Tubbies.
I was actually lying earlier. The movie did make me think of you and me,
Oh.
and not because one of us is a creep,
But because of the Tubbies.
but exactly because we love to take baths together. No, it was more when I was listening to the commentary, to be honest, because these
cool.
guys are like best friends.
Oh.
And they made this movie together, and they even had little affectations that you and I have. They when in the movie when they put on the hats before they go on the hike, and he goes, "Twinsies."
Yep.
That made me laugh.
Me too.
And then one of the most special things is I listened to the entire commentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the two of them talking about the movie. And they talk throughout the credits at the end. And at the very end of the commentary, they go, "Hey, I love you, buddy. I love you too, buddy."
That's
And I was
awesome.
like, "This is my favorite movie ever."
Oh, that's awesome. I need to listen to that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good commentary. But here was an interesting thing that happened during this movie. There was a moment, and it's the moment where Aaron's like, he can't find his keys. He needs to get out of the cabin. And all of a sudden, he pulls out a packet of powder and drugs Joseph. And I was like, wait, what is happening here?
Right.
Where did this like sleeping powder come from? And all of a sudden my eyes got really wide and I'm like, no. Oh my God. Is Aaron the actual creep?
Ooh,
And
that would
I
be
was like,
awesome.
Yeah. But then he's not.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I hate judging a movie on my own expectations, but there was part of me that was a little disappointed because I did not see that coming.
Yeah. That's good.
And the reason I didn't see it coming is because it didn't happen. You know, Joseph was indeed the villain in the movie, but I was like, wow, that would have been amazing if Joseph was actually just this kooky, weird guy.
Yeah.
And the movie, for half the movie, leads you to believe that he's the creep in the movie, and then you find out that the guy that went up to film him is actually the serial killer or the creepy guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was almost brilliant.
Oh man.
So yeah,
that's good.
I was a little disappointed when the movie just stayed on track. And I don't know if that's just my own disappointment. If I'm forcing that on the movie, because that didn't happen to you and you really enjoyed it. So
Right.
I also really liked, I love the disturbing quality of Joseph's story about putting the mask on
Yeah.
and having sex with his wife and basically saying, I raped my wife. And then after the movie, you start sitting there thinking about it, and it's like, wow, did he actually rape his sister?
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't really, care for those storylines in movies, but
Right.
as part of this story in the movie, I thought that was an effective thought
Yeah.
and a very disturbing thought, and it adds character to who Joseph is,
Right. Oh man.
and the fact that his sister knows that Joseph does something like this
Right.
enough to tell Aaron to get out of that house.
Yep.
I did like that. So then, so we have the whole cabin part, and then it shifts to Aaron at home, and as you mentioned, he's being stalked by Joseph.
Right.
I liked it, but again, I had a few issues.
Please.
And it's like little nitpicky things, okay?
Mhm.
First of all, the extension of disbelief. And they even mentioned it in the commentary. There was a point where I was thinking, if I was Aaron,
Mhm.
I would start to become terrified for my life.
That's true.
He calls the police finally after I had been sitting there for like 5 minutes going, call the police.
Right.
Call the police. Jeez.
Yep.
And he finally does. And that's good because the police are all, they're just, hey, nothing we can do. Our hands are tied. There's something else has to happen. I don't know. I would have been calling them more than once.
You're right. Yep. Agreed.
And when he's calling the police, here's a little thing that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
When he's calling the police, he's sitting there drilling in a new lock in his door.
Yep.
But if you notice, when he does wake up in the middle of the night and he's looking around his house and Joseph is standing at the door, Aaron then takes his camera, goes into the living room, and then goes outside.
Yeah.
And I watched this twice. He does not unlock any of the locks on his door. He just walks out. And I'm like, okay, so you bought a brand new lock. You're being stalked by a crazy person, and you left your door basically unlocked.
Fair. That's fair. Yep.
Granted, you don't see his hand turn the doorknob, so maybe he did unlock a lock or two, but, you kind of, if you watch it, you can tell he doesn't. He just
Right.
walks outside. And then he goes outside and he thinks raccoons turned over the trash can. He goes, damn raccoons. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, it didn't feel real to me
That's fair.
at that
Yep.
point. I would not have just chalked it up to raccoons at that point. First of all, I wouldn't have gone outside.
Yeah, me either. I thought that too.
I would have called the cops again and said somebody is outside my house,
Yep.
and told them I need, 911. I'm being stalked. But then, let's see, what else? Yeah, I did. Besides those, though, those moments,
Mm-hmm.
I did like it. I liked the CDs.
Yeah.
Or the DVDs
Yeah.
that Joseph was making for Aaron. I liked the progression of the story, and whether or not you believe that third video would actually inspire Aaron to drive all the way back up to the lake
Right.
and give Joseph one last chance, that's up for debate.
Yep.
I don't know that I believed it very much.
Mm-hmm.
But in the story of the movie, that's what he did.
Right.
And I did like that ending.
I love that ending.
I thought that, that was the one special effect in the entire movie. Joseph comes up behind him, puts the wolf mask on, and then just swings his axe down into Aaron's head.
Yep.
And Aaron falls over. And that they talked about how they did that in the commentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. it's a real axe.
Oh, jeez.
And they laugh about the fact that they used a real axe and anything could have gone wrong, but it didn't. But it's a real axe, and he brings it. Basically, he brought it up, and then he brought it down really, really slowly. And then he touched Aaron's head with it, and Aaron fell over. And then they basically just sped that up.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now I want to rewatch that scene.
Yeah, you can't tell. It's a really well done effect. They replaced the water because obviously the water would have sped up too.
Right.
The ripples in the water, but they replaced the water so you can't see anything like that.
Wow.
It's a really good effect. And then of course we have Joseph at the end watching the videotape and finding out that he has murdered many people.
Yeah.
And there's a creep too, so he's going to try to murder more.
Yep. I know. I'm excited to watch the second one.
Me too.
I will say though, when that axe goes down,
Yeah.
the thunk sound it makes made me very uneasy.
That was a great sound effect.
It was a great sound effect. Yeah, I just sat there and went, oh. Like it hurt. It made me sicky a little bit. It just bleh.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Ooh.
That was a really good scene. I liked it a lot.
Yep.
And I liked the self-awareness of the scene as well. Because even Joseph sits there and says to the camera, he's like, Aaron, for a while I was wondering how you could be so dumb and not even turn around.
Right. Yep.
Because they knew the audience would be thinking the same thing.
Yep.
And so it was a very nice self-aware moment. And
Totally.
I liked that.
So then what did you think? Because you texted me, I think, yesterday, and said, hey, if you watch the movie, watch the special features, the two things on there.
Yeah, there was a cold open.
Right.
In which we see a prior victim
Mm-hmm.
of Joseph's, and they're filming and they're in the woods and saying, hey, it's been 8 hours, it's cold, it's dark, and whatever. And then you see kind of a hint of Joseph coming out with the wolf mask and swinging his axe at them.
Right.
And that was deleted.
Yep. What did you
think of that? Well, let me ask you.
I loved it. I actually really liked that scene. And I got to thinking about it and thought it wouldn't. I don't think it would work for this movie, like at the beginning of this movie, just because I feel like every clip that we saw in this movie was its own DVD, and so if we had that beginning, it would be almost like Joseph edited it to put someone else before, which that didn't work for me. The scene itself, I thought was horrifying.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I like the scene. I'm glad they cut it out.
Yep.
Because I also love the way the movie opens, where if you don't know anything about the movie, you're kind of just wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had kept that scene at the beginning of the movie, we would have just been aware of who Joseph was right from the start.
Right.
So, but then again, maybe if they had had that scene, I wouldn't have thought that there was a big twist in the middle of it and been disappointed that there wasn't a twist. So what did you think of, they had 2 alternate endings as well. What did you think of those?
I liked them. I thought the one was kind of sweet, where Aaron goes out there and Joseph is already sitting there on the bench, and it was like Joseph had said, he sent him that video and just said, I'm a lonely guy. I don't have friends. Like, please give me another chance. Come out here. And so I kind of liked that he did go out and that it was almost a resolve.
Yeah.
I thought that was sweet.
It was nice. Anticlimactic.
Exactly. Yep. Anticlimactic. And I don't think it would work for this. So, like I said, I thought it was sweet, but it definitely wasn't the ending I would pick. The other one I thought could also work because he's always jumping out and scaring Aaron through the movie.
Yeah.
And so that one would work where he holds the axe, puts the mask on, and then just taps his shoulder and it cuts. And I thought, that makes sense as well. But I think...
It's ambiguous.
It's ambiguous.
Well, yeah, but does it work for you? Because we've talked about how you feel about ambiguous endings.
That one would, because I just felt, I don't know, I had enough of the story to. That one I felt like I could make my own resolution and be happy with it.
Okay.
But I think of the three endings, the one they picked was the one that I would have picked. I think it
Absolutely.
worked. Yep.
And plus, that led to them to be able to do the scene where he goes into his secret closet,
Right.
and you see, the dozens of video cassettes
Yeah.
of past victims of his,
Yep.
and a lot of them are VHS. So there's the implication that he's been doing this for a long time.
Right. Right. Yep.
So yeah, I felt the same way. It was nice seeing those alternate endings and the deleted cold open. But I'm glad the movie is the way it is
Me too.
in the end.
Yep.
So yeah, I like the movie. I had a few issues with it. That's it.
That's fair. No, I think those issues are perfect. I totally understand it.
And real quick, I would, well, no, I'm not going to say that. Let's just get to our 3 questions.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Okay, so question number 1, which is a non-question for this movie.
Right. Yes.
Andrew, what was your favorite kill?
I would
And
have to say,
we cannot count the cold open.
Right. Then yeah, I would say Aaron.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
The one kill in the movie. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that single kill was the best kill in the movie.
Yep. Agreed.
Andrew, was this movie scary at all?
You know what? To me it kind of was. And I think, like I mentioned at the beginning, I think part of that is the jump scares. Those scare me enough where I go, ooh, something's coming. I don't want to look.
Funny enough, they mentioned the jump scares in the commentary, and they got a lot of ideas for those jump scares from Gregory Plotkin, the
Really?
director of Hellfest.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
That's so random.
Yes, very random. I can't say I agree with those jump scares. Some of them, I don't know.
Yeah.
But keep going about whether you thought it was scary.
Well, I think it was scary in that way, just because I jumped, a few times. But also, I think stalkers are scary. Stalkers are creepy. Creep. And so for that, I think it was also scary too, just kind of putting myself there. If someone was watching me all the time or someone's looking in my windows, that's creepy. That's scary.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say, though, like, this is one that's going to keep me up at night, one that's going to, make me nervous all the time. I don't think that, but I think it definitely had the jump scares to scare me, and I think creeps are creepy. What about you? Yeah.
I could see where there could be some tension in there and some scares, but there was it was that same thing. The missed opportunities, the extension of disbelief kept the movie from getting too scary for me. I thought the jump scares were kind of cheap at times. At the end of the movie, you can blame it on Joseph and say Joseph just liked jump scares.
Right.
He liked fake scaring people, which haven't we all done that at some point?
Right. Yep.
But in the context of this movie, I didn't think it was scary. I was more annoyed at times when I was supposed to be scared. Like the whole stalking section of the movie, the second half of the movie, I was more just annoyed that Aaron didn't seem as frightened for his life as I would have been.
Fair.
If somebody was acting that way towards me, I would probably be kind of terrified. And if Aaron had been more terrified, I might have been more terrified as well.
That's fair. Okay.
Because we are watching this movie through his lens.
Right.
And then there was the conceits that found footage give you. One of the conceits of found footage is that all you can see is what's through the camera.
True.
And sometimes he treated the camera like his head.
Yeah.
For instance, there's a moment where he goes out in the back balcony, and he turns the camera quick to the left and to the right, and I'm like, you know, it wasn't that dark. He just would have turned his head that way. And
Right.
The camera would have been facing forward.
Yep, that's true.
And they even mentioned that in the commentary that was a little bit of a cheat there. They made that a little bit more cinematic than it would have been in real life. But at the same time, I'm not really faulting that. I'm just saying that kept me from feeling that fear.
Right.
I'd say the closest I came to any kind of real fear was the really creepy part where he goes down the stairs and Joseph is blocking the door in
Yeah.
the wolf mask. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But I more just thought that was a really cool, creepy scene. So
Totally
no,
fair.
I didn't find this movie scary.
Okay. Yep. I get that. I totally get it.
I've seen home invasion movies, stalking movies that are scarier.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen serial killer movies that leave me with a bigger sense of dread after the movie's over.
Yep.
But yeah.
Totally
So, last question. And I think I know this. Andrew, did you have fun with horror?
I did. I did have fun with horror. I thought this was very enjoyable and one that I'll watch again for sure.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you? Did you have fun with horror?
I did.
Nice.
You know, I mentioned the issues I have with the movie, but those aside, they didn't ruin the movie for me.
Nice.
I really did enjoy it. I'm looking forward to watching the sequel,
Yes, me too.
which, you know, I bought both at the same time, so great. And I had no problem watching this movie like twice in one day, once without the commentary and once with.
Nice.
So, yeah, fun with horror.
Fun with horror.
One drink, okay? One drink, and I'll send you on your merry way. Please?
So, that was Creep. I picked
Creep.
that. You know what that means?
Ah!
It's my favorite time of the week when you pick your movie because this is what I've been waiting for, man. It's so much fun to hear what you're going to pick. So, I can't
Andrew,
wait.
I'm going to call us back. To, I believe it was episode, it might have been episode 11 or 12.
Okay.
It was our Halloween episode.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the movies that scare us, buddy.
Yes.
Can you remind everybody and me what scares you in movies?
Underwater. Water
Yeah.
itself. Yeah, underwater.
Great. So,
Oh, boy.
can you remind me what scares me in movies?
Anything that you'll use your imagination with.
Right. And, you know, mostly hauntings.
Right,
Hauntings
yes.
scare me. So, the movie I'm picking this week is a newer movie. And as soon as I watched the trailer for it, I turned to my girlfriend, Mary,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, my goodness. I am going to terrorize Andrew with my next movie." This movie is called The Deep House. Have you heard of it?
No. The Deep House.
It is about a house that is, I think it's in a lake,
Oh, jeez.
at the bottom of this lake, and it's haunted.
Oh, my
It's
God.
an underwater haunted house.
Dude, you found one that'll hit both of us? This is amazing.
Yes. Hopefully.
God.
Hopefully it'll hit both of us.
Right? The Deep House?
The Deep House.
Huh. I'm not even going to look this up. I don't want to
Yeah.
know anything. The Deep House.
So, for everybody out there that wants to watch The Deep House so that they're ready when we talk about it next week,
Yes.
it looks like it's mainly available for rental in various places. Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Vudu, even YouTube.
Nice.
It does say that it's streaming on Epics. So I don't have Epics, but we can rent the movie on Apple TV. So yeah, if you have Epics, that's a good way to watch it. Otherwise, you know, it's up for rental because it is a pretty new movie. I think it's only been out for a month or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Very new. Ooh.
The Deep House.
The Deep House. Dude, I'm
Yes.
excited. That sounds horrifying.
It's directed by Julian Maury and Alexander Bustillo. So Yeah, I'm pretty hyped about this.
Sweet. Well, that's a good pick. I hope, but it sounds really creepy.
Yeah, it may be terrible, but I'm hoping that it triggers us a little bit.
Me too. Oh, me too. Ooh,
All right.
That's awesome. Okay, well, perfect. The Deep House for next week, man.
And the other thing is, my lucky number is number 17, and so we'll be talking about it for episode 17.
Ooh, that's awesome.
What's your lucky number,
It's.
if you have one?
I think it. Oh yeah, it's 4. It's always been 4.
Oh,
Yep.
it's 4. It's always been 4.
It's always been 4.
It's always been you.
I almost said 23,
You're my
but that
lucky
was.
number, Andrew.
Oh, you're so sweet. If you were a number, I'd pick you.
Oh. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. So, episode 17 will be The Deep House.
Sweet.
But this was episode 16.
Sweet 16.
So, I didn't even... That's nice. Oh. Everybody out there, of course, social media. You can find us. We are on Facebook, the Fun with Horror Podcast Facebook group.
Yes.
We are on Instagram, Fun with Horror Podcast.
Yes.
We're on Twitter, at FunWHorror.
Ooh.
And we have our Spotify, where we have our playlist that's ever growing.
Yes.
So I think that's all of our social medias at the moment.
I think you covered them. Yep.
Might be more coming.
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Anyway, Andrew,
Scotty.
I had fun.
I did too, man. Always. This
Yep.
was a great episode. I'm excited to edit and listen to us.
I'm kind of sad that we have to wait another week
I know.
to record another one.
But I am excited to watch this movie.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, don't watch anything. Just watch the movie.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I'm
No
going in
trailers.
blind. Yep.
I didn't even watch the whole trailer. I'll tell you that.
Nice. Okay.
So, all right, buddy.
All right, man.
That's it. That's all I got.
Cool. Well, then next week we will talk. What's it called again? I totally
The
just-
Deep House.
The Deep House. There we go. The Deep House next week.
Next week. All right.
All right. Well,
Well,
I love
you have a. I love you. I love you, buddy. I am going to drug you with Benadryl.
Aww.
Aw.
That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me.
I know.
And I'm gonna
All
put a
right.
mask outfit on or a wolf outfit on and sing and dance for you.
I hope so.
Good.
And then kill me with an axe.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't. All right. Talk
All
to you
right.
later, buddy.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, my name is Peach Fuzz. I might look like I eat you up, but I'm as friendly as a rabbit, and I'd make a very good friend. Peach Fuzz, I am here, and there's nothing to fear.